Welcome to Event-Vods. Watch the full game from NLC Spring Playoffs 2025.
They left support till R5, and obviously we got the Sonar, which, we didn't actually speak about the Sonar at all after we came out of that game, because it didn't really do anything by the end of it, unfortunately. You started to see some of the scaling strong points once they started to deathball a little bit, but, the game was so far gone by that time that its impact is unfortunately very little by, a 10k gold lead at 20 minutes. Bans on the blue side staying the same, as Sion is also going to remain out of Bao's hands. Not too surprised, but this is where I suspect we'll start to see some more direct targeted bans, as Gragas now joins the ban pool too.
So we're banning out Bao's champions, and then we try to kill Baos in the game as much as possible. Something still doesn't work here for me. But the bans are the same, and the Jace that I briefly mentioned before for Bucci is also removed by Los Ratones. So I really wonder what DMG will play on the top side of the map, because for Bucci not really many options are available. Xante is one of those. He has had one game in this split so far on Xante, so that feels like an obvious answer there.
It's just weird if you open instantly like the top lane and allow Baos to pick up something, while on the red side, I mean, usually, I don't know if you agree, Jaman, it's a lot of it. Usually when I see red side, it's mostly about trying to counter and be comfortable towards the picks of your enemy on blue side, then trying to reveal the hand before the enemy.
Yeah, that's usually what it is. We'll see how much use of it DMG get, right? If that is going to be the plan. It's opening as super neutral, right? Against the Maokai. Sejuani plus Ezreal, you're really keeping your cards close to your chest. Crowny has a couple of different options, I imagine, he could answer with. My best guess would be that LR do show their full bot lane here. We're going to finally get something that isn't the Jhin, and it will be the Tristana, which actually still is a flex, right? When you've got the Maokai in the jungle too, there's no, guarantee that this will be Crowny's AD pick for the time being, as, again, I'm kind of assuming that they would pick their full bot lane, but if they're going towards the Tristana, maybe they're happy to blind something out of Baus's pool, like the Volibear, just for the sake of locking it in now, not letting his champion pool get pinched. Poppy kind of does that for Los Ratones, but at the same time, still could end up in the support role.
Yeah, it's a total flex so far for Los Ratones. You don't know where any of these three champions are going to land, which makes DMG's job on the right side extremely difficult. They already, probably they could go towards the support this time just to secure their bot lane, just to not have the situation like it was in the previous game where so many good options were literally banned out from their hands. But this... Okay, forget I said anything. They opt for Olaf in this game. I kind of expected maybe both to go Olaf in the previous game, because I looked like the game for him to do so, but it's actually DMG this time that give Bucci a crazy pick.
Oh, okay. I'm curious to see how this will play out if Poppy doesn't end up in the top lane, right? I think the chances are low, but certainly plausible. Think about Poppy in the support role. What's the keyword I've been using when it comes to Los Ratones in their drafts? Reactive, right? That is exactly what Poppy does a lot of time, but she still has the capabilities to be a playmaker with the heroic charge. Olaf eats her alive inside of the lane. There is not really anything that she can steadfast presence. He can E through the true damage of the low HP bonus resist, so very, very powerful 1v1 matchup. And 2 versus 1 against Maokai Poppy, you're never going to die unless you make some serious errors. Support matchups now being pinched away. Nautilus engage away from Los Ratones does make sense in this specific context, though. Again, Reckless has never really shown a tendency to lock in these kind of champions. It's very, very rare that we see him on that, as the Karma is removed away, so there's not going to be a poke matchup, and the Sivir, they're respecting the fact that this could still be a flex Tristana to the mid lane being taken away from Crowny's pool.
Have you seen the video from Crowny when he was explaining for like half an hour to somebody in the chat about Sivir and what champion she's like? I can see where this ban is coming from. I can respect that. I also respect the fact that we don't have Jhin available anymore for Crowny, so this is going to be pretty much the first game in the split where we're going to see him play a different champion. But I worry about this bot lane matchup, because Faetsky hasn't played Ezreal so far in the spring split, so I don't know how comfortable he's going to feel there, especially since 2 very good supports pair really nicely with him on the bot lane, and with Sejuani on top of them have already been removed by Los Ratones.
You have a way to deliver it. You have Sejuani jumping in, even if the Poppy blocks it, while Olaf just runs extremely fast. It's a deliver, but you're having the counter.
Weirdly, if Kamsky plays Sonar, my guesstimation would be that he plays Seraphine. And this is looking more and more like a pretty good Seraphine angle.
Yeah, actually.
I'll hold on to my reservations about that for the time being, as obviously we still need to see what Los Ratones round their comp out with. We get a rail out of Reckless.
Yeah.
So we'll be getting some engages out of him. A little bit more suckers, and that does lock in that Poppy more or less to the top lane. We see Maokai top every now and again, but I don't think we're going to see Maokai top into Olaf. It's kind of similar, except at the very least you can kind of self-peel earlier than the Poppy can. And now it's about this mid lane pick or the AD pick. And it will be this Kai'Sa. So Kai'Sa in Crowny's hands most likely. The one-to-one sort of counter once you exit the lane or once you kind of go past level 6. But we've seen Ezreal's be super potent and powerful, and Tristana in the mid lane to try and secure some early priority to move around the map.
Oh, I was thinking a little bit more tanky, a little bit like Alistar, another deliver, a way to push the rail off, or even stop the Poppy.
Wow.
But they're going a different angle today.
I like that
Janna?
angle, actually. Yeah, first of all, it's pretty much only Reckless that we have seen play Janna on more or less regular basis as a support. But second of all, you can kind of see how it could work here. Probably as well not the champion that I would necessarily see in this composition that seems to be very aggressive, all about going in and enabling those going in champions. But Janna is a very good enabler for them. And should things turn around, especially with the Kai'Sa and Tristana having the ability to jump onto you, Janna and her ultimate and her shields are going to have a lot of power for DMG.
I'm apprehensive to call this a good Janna angle. It's great for the lane, right? 2 versus 2, Reckless and Crowny should really suffer because of this Janna pick. But holistically, this composition, whilst it does kind of dive in, right? You think about the Kai'Sa and the Tristana. I feel like the Janna pick is going to provide less than you would probably want a Janna pick to provide in terms of resetting fights and really keeping melees at bay, because this is a composition which I suspect is going to actually play a lot more front to back as opposed to dive once we actually start to see these high fights play out. Then again, if they can snowball the lane, it's fantastic, and Janna is a very, very oppressive and difficult support to shake control of the game away from.
Well, in order to do that, you really need to secure that early game. Will they be able to do it, or will Los Ratones just run away with the score yet again? We have to know that as soon as we jump into Summoner's Rift with the assistance of Foxtrot and Hippo.
I'm muted because I'm a moron. Hello and welcome back. Now I'll start that again. We're getting into game number 2 of this series. I put a trouble. I had a trouble moment there.
Talking to you. How did you mute yourself in that time?
I had a swig of water, and I didn't want to have you having the slopping sound in your ear. I drink like a cat.
Brother's drinking. Who's drinking water? What's that? I don't know that. Yeah. Oh.
What are you talking about?
No. It's a real. I promise. There's a. Who's eating water, breath? It's something like that. I don't know. It's something like that. It's good though. Anyway, speaking of good things, we've got some more League of Legends. We've got a good little draft coming through here from DMG as well. I mean, good in like a funky sense. I don't know. The Janna and the Olaf kind of throwing a bit of a unique spin onto this one. I would say again, coming into this game, that top side is another lane. Another game where the top side focus is a good strategy for DMG, and it did work a little bit. It did work a little bit before in game number 1. It started out well, but it all came falling apart as it seems later on. So this is a bit of a redemption arc game here for Bucci on this Olaf.
Yeah, Bucci's probably okay. I mean, Jamala talked about it. Like, this is actually a really rough matchup for the Poppy. My concern is this Rel. Rel is so good into DMG's comp, man. Like, they've got a lot of shielding. Bucci has shielding. Pierceguard has shielding. Obviously, the Janna pretty much shielding is her game. Q from Rel just turns shields off. It's a shield buster. So it's going to actually somewhat negate the power of this Janna pick. And then you're relying on the ult being a peel tool. And that's kind of like all the Janna's going to do. Kampsky didn't have too much of an impact on that solo last game. They did get 3 kills, but they were kind of accidentally taking them away from people who probably needed that kill more. So, yeah, I have my concerns going forwards as a Nemesis.
That's a negative impact, isn't it?
Yeah.
Not only did you do nothing, but you actually stole the kills from your carries. not optimal there, to be honest. But yeah, I mean, we'll see. I do think, though, I like the philosophy of trying to bring something unique against Los Ratones, because they are just so head and shoulders above everyone else here in the NLC. And speaking of unique, a level 3 gank from Sejuani will certainly fit that bill. Here he goes.
Nemesis gets some damage in, doesn't quite get enough auto attacks to reset the W. Has got his jungler in the area. Nemesis still holding on to that flash. There's Dandem flashing forwards. Nemesis able to break away, but the lockdown is there, and Bizguard secures first blood.
Dandem does it again, this early pathing to find himself and his team the advantage. One of the reasons why he's been such a standout member for DMG, in my opinion, he's been their best player. He finds a way to make it happen. Did it in game 1, he's done it again here in game number 2. First blood to Bizguard.
Nice little pickup for him. Baus going to shove Bucci under. Surprised, actually, that Bucci hasn't really been able to find that much of a power lead yet over Baus. Got the ghost, he's got the ability to run him down. Little lockdown onto Fateski, but don't really see him being into too much trouble off the back of that. The Nemesis teleports back into the lane, and Dandem's in the area. Bizguard, no mana. Nemesis probably just going to look to shove this wave and reset again. He can't really stay on half HP. Just gets a nice little shove and still continues to somewhat match the tempo of Bizguard, even though Bizguard's probably going to TP back into lane. No, he's not. He's going to stay. Okay. I am wrong.
Ooh, well, nah, he may have spoken too soon. He's gone back, and he will now be TPing back into lane. Yeah, just chilling for now. Not too much going down. Just pick up the tier, importantly, for Bizguard. It's always nice to get that, like, ASAP. Start stacking that up.
Yeah.
Going into that, the Archangels as well for him. Keeping himself safe. But again, JQ talking about the shields, right? Orianna, E, big shield. And now with the Seraphs coming through eventually, that's going to be another shield for Rel to break. So this Reckless Rel pick is certainly going to get a lot of value in this game.
There is a world where, like, just the amount of shields to break means you can't break them all, right? So it's on that as all Baus running away. Bucci's got the ghost on. It's going to take one more Q. Baus flashes away, able to stay alive. Incredibly close for him, though. He's got Synchronized Soul, so he just resets really fast, though. Oh my word. He's TPing in.
See that?
I don't know if they did. Velia flashes forwards, looking for the W. In they come. Don't get the wall bang off. Velia, where's your W, mate?
Just out of range right there for the twisted advance. Unfortunate for Velia. Because, yeah, Bucci, you know, he's only got Ghost and it was down. So it would have been a good target with that TP coming through. Unfortunately for Velia. It must have been really close, though. Really, really close to getting down. But fortunately for DMG and Bizguard, staying alive right there. And because of the invested time top, DMG will be starting up this dragon as well. Though he may be in the area. I think they'll be contesting this one though. Baus!
Yeah, I don't think he's living that one. Tries to take the minion taxi away. Bucci hits level 6. He loses, like, what, 2 minions for that as well? Baus kind of struggling here. As this is pretty typical Los Ratones. They do actually favor grubs over dragon. Especially in this series. Haven't been able to pick up that first dragon at all yet. Grubs have now spawned up. Crowny is rotating towards the top side. I think they've realized that Bucci is rolling Baus in this matchup as expected, and they want to make sure that they have the right people in the right place. But unfortunately for Baus, this play has been read by DMG. You know, the Los Ratones playbook, it's hard to counter, but they do have a playbook that you can read and kind of understand how to beat them in the game. And recognizing that they're going to rotate their bot lane up to try and grab this grubs. DMG send Bucci down to bot, but it's already been started by DMG. Velia, not level 6, is not able to really do much about this as DMG secured themselves a single grub and run away. As actually it looks like Baus in a little bit of danger here. Has got 6, but the problem is Bucci has ult, so he can just block it. It's Baus going for the old wraparound. It's just going to look for a taxi away. He's just being a menace.
He is absolutely a menace. He always is. 2 grubs were picked up top here for Los Ratones in the exchange. But then crucially for Dandem was able to actually sneak one away before that all got set up. So don't get 3 grubs. Don't get that free contribution.
There's the
Here
ult.
we go.
They're going to go in for the knock-up, and everyone gets caught in place. Reckless dives in, finds the lockdown, and Fateski flashes away. But that is not going to save him long. Velia's the one to secure the kill. Dandem too slow to the play. As Los Ratones able to secure that kill. They'll get a plate here as well for their troubles. And they'll look to back off.
Ski Crucial as well. Not just dies, but he's missing. He's going to miss. He missed a wave. He will probably... Well, actually, I don't know. We'll see if he can get back in time for this one. Depends how fast Jones can crash it in. But he will be missing out some of this experience here. Which, you know, it really sucks. You don't want to be doing that as an ADC, missing out. Especially early on an Ezreal, right? If you fall behind on Ez, like, you really need 2 items before you become much of a threat anyway. And if those 2 items are staggered, you know, and then you're held back from them, then you can spend a good, like, 30-35 minutes before you're even really a threat on the map. Fatesky certainly doesn't want to find himself in that position. It was a good gank there by Los Ratones.
And it's a hard matchup as well. Kai'Sa does really well into Ezreal. He dashes away. Kai'Sa can follow really easily. So it's going to be a bit of a rough one there for Fatesky. Is Baus just looking to get a proxy farm on. The problem is Dandem's in the area. So Baus is going to get a Q off. Going to throw the ultimate out and actually make it a 1 versus 1. Ult comes down, though, from the side of Bucci. Baus tries to minion taxi away. He will go down. Clears most of the wave. But ultimately, that's his 2nd death of the game. He is definitely in Struggleville as Reckless potentially setting up a dive here onto Fatesky. Crowny hasn't got his item finished up, but has just a lot of raw AD in his kit right now.
That seems like one of the rare deaths from Baus where his team isn't really set up to get anything else out of it on the other side of the map. So that death from Baus for DMG should just be a plus 300 and not too much else going down. Good news here for the DMG faithful. Kamsky can now return back to topside to protect Fatesky.
Yeah, Fatesky needs it. Currently just half health Fatesky with an auto and a Q. He didn't even prop the passive. Just did an absolutely abysmal amount of damage. And there's Kamsky losing a fair chunk of HP. He did shield up some of that, though. So it's not as bad. Crowny really, really scary already. And again, hasn't actually got his wild arrows finished up. So still got a bit of a ways to go until he's a real menace. Hasn't upgraded a single one of his abilities yet. Actually, that might be the upgraded Q. I'll see it when he channels it. Come on, press Q. No, he's not there.
I bet he did it right then as well.
I bet he did it that moment.
Yeah, he's taking his time a little bit before he reaches his spikes. You can see Bucci, though, is completely under his turret here now. Olaf is a very scary person, but without mana, he can't spam the undertow. Without spamming undertow, you're really quite manageable as a champion. So that is probably going to give Baus a lot of freedom here in the bot side.
Looks like we might have a dive topside as well. Belly was sniffing about the area. Decides not to, though. Calls it off. Baus just goes miles away from Bucci. Can't be beaten 1v1 if you're not near them. And it's just going to carry on proxying waves. Because the problem is Bucci can get those kills all you like, but he's only got a single plate off the back of this. He hasn't actually been able to really get much for his team. They got a dragon from one of his deaths. But outside of that, it's how much time does Dandem actually want to invest into getting Olaf kills? While Baus is just going to continue to do the same thing. He's now TP'd back to the top side, and Bucci a little bit slower on that play. Does look like Los Ratones are thinking about making a play here. Bizgard needs to be careful. Shockwave pulls him back in, and down he goes. Nemesis has had a lot of disrespect for Bizgard in this game.
Beautiful. All right. Yeah, that is it, mate. That shockwave catching Tristana mid-leap. The 2nd death to Nemesis. The 2nd time he's had flash available while he's died. If this is just a free dragon as well, then DMG will be laughing, but that was close to being a steal from Velia, which would have been criminal as well. For DMG to let Velia get that, that close in too. But that's great, man. 4 kills, 2 dragons. Got a little bit of a goal lead here as well. 11 minutes. It's a good start right now for DMG.
Yeah, it is indeed. You see, again though, can they make it work? This time, Bucci hasn't given up 2 kills to Baus. After getting ahead, he's actually stayed ahead. It's only a 500 gold lead, but Baus is, as you can see, really struggling in this matchup, even with dodging those undertows. It's incredibly hard for him, but that's still happy just to be catching these waves. Synchronized Souls means he can take these trades and reset and get back to lane real fast. Has got a cull as well, so he is playing the long game right now. Does look like Los Ratones are going to answer out with some grubs to themselves, though. As Dandem looking for potential play. Crowny's in the area. I don't think Dandem really wants to make this happen. They have been spotted by Kamsky there, I think, with the Scryers. Secure themselves 2 grubs, make it 4. Happy to give up 2 in response as DMG maybe looking onto Velia here. Velia gets the ult thrown onto him and has to flash the wall. In comes Baus, sends one pack in there, continues to chase forward. Dandem being chased off. He has smite though. No smite available to Los Ratones. Able to trade out as Baus heads back to lane, but he is heavily chunked right now.
I would like to have seen DMG be in position for the scrub play. They kind of were a bit sloppy around it, didn't get there in time. Los Ratones, who were right there as it spawned, able to get 2 grubs before DMG even got into the area. Bucci, not gonna go. Yeah, he's gonna full send it for the. No,
he doesn't have ult.
He's thinking about it.
He doesn't have ult. The problem is Baus can just flash hit wallbang him, and that play suddenly becomes infinitely scarier. So I think he did the smart thing of not full sending it without ultimate. If he had ult, that was an absolute kill. As Bizguard getting a little bit of poking coming in onto him, but Velia's trying his best to hold this one down. The lockdown's going to be enough to kill the Janna, though. Trades out 1-for-1 in a 1 versus 3. Velia did their job.
Yeah, is that worth it? Is that worth it for DMG to get a kill onto Olaf, though? Is Baus? I don't think
if they can kill Baus. Maybe it will be. He has got himself the flash. Bucci's losing a lot of HP. Baus goes in. Crowley slides in behind and secures the shutdown. Dandem's going low. Baus gets the Q, but that's not going to be enough for Dandem. Dandem's going down. Another shutdown. It was the Long Kong, baby. They were just funneling gold so Crowley could get the shutdowns.
Now that is definitely worth it. 2 kills onto your ADC, 2-0-1 now for Crowney. Just staying a little bit too late for DMG in that top side. You can see as well though, the top side of your screen here, 3 plates versus 4 plates for DMG. I don't quite understand that because it said DMG got less gold, so that doesn't make a lot of sense to me. Why DMG would have got less gold for taking 4 plates, but you know what? I don't know, actually. That is just whatever. That is what it is. Let's take another look at what happened here, the top side of the map. So, Olaf, yeah, when he's low on HP, he attacks really fast. And with his W up as well, he can heal a lot as well through Vamp.
Oh, so smart.
It's the CC. It's the CC from Baus to set up that Kaiser ulti, baiting him in, knowing that, yes, whereas Baus might not be able to do too much, Crowney certainly can, and he takes them down.
Crowney looking really scary right now. Pickaxe, got himself the bow as well, and the boots. With the wild arrows in his inventory. They still need to do a lot if they want to look at this feat of strength. They need first Tower Blood. That is their only avenue. If that goes over to DMG. No feat of strength for the side of Los Ratones. DMG, though, right now, even with those kills, Bucci looking quite scary. 3-1, Stride Breaker in his inventory. This Olaf could grow into being a real menace for the side of Los Ratones to deal with. As Baus went for a proxy. The problem is he did it over a ward, so Bucci knows exactly where Baus is, has ultimate to break away, catches him with the undertow. Baus able to clear the wave out, throws down the W for a bit of move speed, gets the slow on a Bucci in response, but Bucci is just continuously running him down, and yeah, that's going to be the kill. Baus is trying to make a run for it, waits it out beautifully, sends him packing. Nah, that was criminal, man. How did Bucci get caught?
That timing was actually perfect from Baus, so Valiant's getting caught himself.
Has got a little bit of sustain, finds the lockdown. True Shot Barrage goes a little bit wide, but Nemesis is chasing forwards, waiting to see if a W is going to land as Crowney finds stun damage onto Fateski. Needs to be careful himself as they're going to continue to chase onto him. Crowney has to flash. Los Ratones getting a little antsy for the fights here, and they're doing it quite scattered.
Very close stuff for DMG. Now, crucially, 3rd dragon on the map. It's Soul Point.
Baus goes for the wallbang, gets himself caught out, and he is going down for the 4th time this game. Heartbreak for Los Ratones here.
DMG now with that pick, with the option of getting 3 dragons under their belt. Do they full send it for a dragon play? Bucci has teleport, or are they happy to let Bucci push down top and sack this dragon? This is the call right here. The gold onto Bucci or getting put on Soul Point. Baus died and has teleport up in 10 seconds. It looks as though DMG happy to give this dragon up. They will get that tower on the top side as a result. Not a bad trade when all things said and done.
I mean, we saw Nemesis in the last game go 2,500 gold up in his lane. And right now, Bucci is 2,200 gold up. We saw Nemesis get a penta with this kind of gold lead. And Olaf very capable of just running through your team and murdering everyone. Stridebreaker in his infantry, just finishing up the last of his farming. Gonna head back to base, and this is probably almost a full item, if not a full item here for Bucci. Baus really, really far behind with just that Divine Thunderer. Or Sundered Sky,
spot.
sorry.
Yeah, the old Divines, the new Divine Thunderer, essentially.
Yeah, effectively the same item.
Yeah, it's a great spot. It's a great spot for Bucci to be in. And to be honest, as far as the strategy of the game goes, having an Olaf be this strong, really hard for Baus to deal with. Quite hard for Los Ratones to deal with as well, right? They don't have, you know, like, you can't bust a shot an Olaf away, for example, if you're Nemesis. You can't CC him if you're the Olaf either. Like, yeah, this Olaf could wreak absolute havoc. But the asterisk there is all on the execution. It's all on how can we make this happen, right? Because we were in a similar position where Bucci was set up for success last game and it didn't work out. This time around, he's been set up for even more success. There are no excuses left right now in playoffs.
Well, Baus able to get a fair amount of damage onto Boost. He gets hit by the Stridebreaker, though, so Bucci turns that trade around, half health in him. And Baus really can't fight. His team is not in the area. DMG seizing the initiative here, and they are turning their attention towards this Rift Herald. Are we seeing Gods bleed as Bizguard gets caught by the damage? Shockwave lands in. They find the W, the Seraph's there, and that's going to be the shutdown for Nemesis. Able to break away as Calm Sky finds the lockdown. Nemesis flashes away, but Fatesky chasing forward. There's the Janna ultimate to keep them locked in as Nemesis is going low, but the Magnet Storm will pull everybody in, and Crowny secures a kill onto Calm Sky. Dandom's going low. Can Crowny find the shot to finish him up? I don't think he can. This is just going to clear out the wave. Baus died in the middle of that as well. Los Ratones find an answer back, but they're still bleeding on that top lane.
Yeah, it's a 2-for-1, but solo kill bot, Fatesky.
Oh, Fatesky! Not able to get the damage in. Crowny secures the kill. 4-0.
It was worth it. I'd say it was worth it until that death right there. Bucci getting that solo kill bot side, picked up that turret as well. He has now become the guy to deal with. A huge leaky lane right now in the bot side of the map. Really, really difficult for Los Ratones to handle. Now, the way this play starts, DMG are on Herald. They're on the Rift Herald, but they all peel off to go for this fight topside, but they're just a tad too late. Even the flash heal from Calm Sky isn't enough to keep Bizguard alive. If they'd got here a little bit earlier, if they were maybe on the same page with the rotation from Bizguard, this could have all been really good. DMG were just a little bit too split right here, and then overstaying under this turret as well. I can see how Fatesky wanted to go for this kill on a Crowny, almost gets it as well, but man, once you die here, you lose the turret, another kill to Crowny. This is when this play actually starts looking pretty bad for DMG.
Yeah, it was a clean barrier from Crowny just to keep himself alive, because he would have died. He had the Essence Flux on him, so could have been the end of days, could have been a shutdown into Fatesky, who is now 2 items, but it's kind of 1.5 until that Muramana's completely finished.
I was gonna say, sorry to just rudely interrupt you, but like, imagine if he wasn't put behind early, Fatesky, and he had Muramana in that fight, right?
Yeah, exactly.
That probably would have been the difference, and that fight would have been probably DMG favored, actually, or at least been even. So it does, you know, it pays off. It pays off to put your ADC behind early.
Crazy to see Reckless still remains unkilled this season. And he's on an engaged. These are the kind of champions that do die. So crazy to see, but he's holding on. Rift Herald probably timing out soon, actually. So, well, is timing out soon. So looks like they'll probably turn their attention away from that. Baus once again just fighting Bucci. He does not learn. It has been interesting to see, though, someone finally punish the Baus playstyle, because I feel like so many players and teams haven't really been able to do that. And it hasn't been perfect punishing, let's be fair, as in comes the ultimate, actually, on to Olaf. He's trying to kill up Velia, but Nemesis is able to finish him up. Baus just runs in with a steadfast presence and watches the person who's been causing him so much grief this game go down.
This is the difference between Los Ratones and other teams. When Los Ratones attack that monster side lane, what did DMG get out of this? What did they achieve on the rest of the map? Nothing. It was just a free kill. It was just a free 300 gold for the rats, plus control over the dragon as it spawned. When Los Ratones get attacked when they're strong side laner, when Baus gets focused, Los Ratones take everything. They take so much on the map. They punish you for that. It's something that The other teams here in the NLC do not execute very well. Bucci with all that attention. Something had to happen there, man. Something had to happen, but as it stands, nothing. 3 kill, and also Ratones even up this dragon total.
Yeah, now, you know, the Guinzy's finished up, closing in on that Nash's as well for Crown. He's going to have all of his abilities upgraded once that Nash's is finished up. In fact, this actually might be enough to upgrade the W now. I can't remember. It's been a while since I played, like, this build on Kai'Sa.
I think that's enough between
yeah, it should be.
those two. I think
yeah, because you get a bit of AP in Guinzy's as well, to be fair. So, yeah. Thimble Winter onto Baus, which is going to give him a bit of shielding as well whenever he finds that additional bit of damage, or that CC, sorry, onto someone. As Bucci does need to be dealt with. He is still incredibly strong. He's still almost 2,000 gold up over his lane opponent. And with that level and just the amount of damage that this guy's capable of doing, you do not want Bucci just sitting in side lanes, because he will do what Baus has done to so many teams before.
It's not quite worked out, has it? Really, this Olaf strength. Like the solo kill bot, getting that kill, getting the tower, and then breaking down the tier 2 turret as well was great. But since then, not much is happening between these two. And you think with how far Baus is pushed out here, when he doesn't have a turret, that he should be scared. He should be scared.
That's 2 ultimates committed.
Yeah, that's not too bad, actually. That's not too bad at the end of the day here for DMG at all.
Yeah, I think they'll be very happy with that one, Velia. Just gonna look for a little bit of an annoyance onto Dandem, who does get caught. Knock up lands onto Velia. Is maybe their opportunity to jump onto him. He's thrown the Q down, so the Arcane Smash is there. Reckless, no Magnet. Storm, Velia, no ultimate as well. Bucci jumps in, and now we're going to see that Olaf trying to do some work. Reckless can flash away. Doesn't want to be going to kill up, but Crownie may be in danger. Faceke's going to flash forward. They try and keep the threat damage up over there. I can't see what's going on because we're moving back towards top. Reckless is so low. Oof. Can he go down? Are we going to see him finally die today? Reckless breaks away with the W as Karmska chases forward. Fatesky finds himself the kill. Reckless is finally slain. Baus is making his way over. Crownie has no abilities to keep himself going. There comes the ultimate from the Pop. He's going to try and turn the numbers around. That might not be the perfect play, but they're going to turn it as now Dandem's going low. Crownie is chasing forwards. It's a double kill on to Nemesis. Make it a triple. Somehow, Los Ratones stay in that fight.
Kicking Fatesky out with the Poppy ultimate was big right there. Fatesky's missed a Q. Nemesis does have a chance of bringing him down, but Bucci in the mid lane was able to pick up that tier 1 turret. When all said and done, it's actually a pretty even exchange. Just about coming out on Los Ratones' favor towards the end, especially because it was Nemesis with the triple. Let's watch this one again. Bucci with that teleport flank. Now keep an eye on... Nope, let's not keep an eye on that because we got some more action happening. The pip is the replay, by the way. But Los Ratones are starting up Nash in real time. We're seeing them do Nash right here. And I think it's got absolutely no response for DMG. Blitzcrank was dead. So I'm not quite sure what's... This is the replay again. When Reckless finally dies, and then Crownie dies. But yeah, Nemesis just gets back in here. And this knockback from Baus onto Fatesky is crucial. Really crucial, because he's the big guy here, right? He's the big guy. And when he's out, boom, it's all sorted. Nemesis just...
It's so clean, actually, from Baus. He's been really good with those ultimates, being able to kind of reposition key targets. Considering how bad the rest of the lane has gone for him, he has been very, very useful for his team on that front. Nash has now finished up onto Crownie. Infinity Edge finished up onto Nemesis. The two kind of hyper carries on the side of Los Ratones are set up at this point. They're 3 items deep. They're looking pretty scary. Can they be locked down? Dandem is seeing if an opportunity is there to jump in onto Crownie. They're going to summon the Herald here. Someone needs to go deal with Bucci, though, in that bot side. As charges coming out from Herald. Nemesis needs to be careful because he could get caught by that ultimate. Isn't going to get himself caught yet. Dandem will finally be seen by the sapling as Dandem jumps forwards, gets caught by the Arcane Smash. There's going to be the ultimate onto Velia. Velia throws down his ultimate in response as in comes Bucci. That Magnet Storm is not going to do anything. They're going to try and find some damage, but in comes Crownie. Can they get the kill? They take out Reckless. They take out no one else. Baus is coming on the flank, though. Velia still alive. Dandem low HP. Can Baus actually find an opening for his team? Bucci gets some damage in onto Baus, but Baus able to break away. DMG are firing on all cylinders versus Los Ratones here.
It is a return, the turret for a kill. Topside is just going to fall by itself, as we see in the pit. Thank you very much for showing us that one. Yeah, it's a toughie right here. Dragon has spawned, but the health bars on DMG, I think, are too low to really get involved here. Brownie's going in for the kill on Bucci.
Yeah, he's looking for him. Does get hit by the shockwave, and that's going to chunk him so heavily. He's still slowed. In jumps Nemesis. He's trying for the tidy up. Can't find the kill onto Bizguard. The pop comes through. The shield will keep him alive. That was unbelievably close. If he didn't shield, he was going down.
But is it enough to do anything sexy here? Baus is playing with fire right now, and he is burned. Both some 7-degree burns right there. That was reckless. Sounds like a toddler at a firework festival. I'm not sure what that was about. But fair enough, Baus, mate. You distracted them from the dragon. Yeah. But that's 3 dragons out, so point for Los Ratones.
I'm still reeling from toddler at a firework festival.
Bro, that was like, I don't know what that was, man. It was unsupervised.
Yeah, I mean, it was.
Where are his parents, dude?
They're doing dragon.
Yeah, true. Holy moly.
Yeah, that was a bit of a mistake there from Baus. Still, Bucci is a real problem for the side of Los Ratones in this game. And while Nemesis is definitely, you know, having a pretty solid game here, Bizguard, who's 225, his shockwaves in some of the major team fights have been really, really impactful, where Nemesis has kind of been more of a tidy up. So he hasn't really been able to kind of apply that initial kind of team fight defining moment for his team, and instead just kind of has to hope that the damage comes out for him to come in and then mop up.
Ooh, yeah, no, I agree fully. In these team fights, Nemesis has mostly been the cleanup crew, which is great for Tristana.
She's here.
Resets.
She's got ultimate. They're going to look for the damage. I don't think that's on. Magnustorm lands onto multiple people. In comes Baus. Interrupted with his ultimate. Crowny goes golden for the moment. Nemesis chases forward. They're going to try and break away, but that's not going to be enough. Baus, buddy bot forward. Fatesky secures the shutdown onto Crowny, as that's going to be Nemesis who gets a kill in response. It's a double kill once again for Nemesis. Wallbang comes in. The triple's going to be there for Nemesis, although Bucci almost kills Nemesis in response. They left him alone, unsupervised.
And they almost got burnt, but he stays alive for now. Able to retreat as well and pick up all those flowers. That has to be, you would think, the nail in the coffin for DMG's hopes in this game. It was all looking a little tumultuous, but kind of even up until this point. But a great start on the Atakan, rushing it down. I think DMG just weren't prepared for this one. The Sejuani whiffs here as well. Full on 710, but Fatesky at the top right doesn't get in until too late, and it is just disgusting, gross when ADCs can build Zhonya's. But that's exactly what Kai'Sa can do with this AP build. So she survives for a little longer than she should. And as you mentioned, the cleanup crew, the cleanup king.
Oh, look at the
Nemesis.
healing, man.
Yeah, almost gets taken down, but just too much.
It's got a Spirit's Visage now. Death's Dance. I wonder what his last item's going to be. If we get to a last item.
Sterix's would be good here, but...
Yeah. You could also just go like a flat armor item as well.
Yeah, that's the only thing, right? You got Ninja Tabi, you got Death's Dance, but maybe you want like
GA.
Randuins as well.
GA Olaf, man. I'm telling you.
Yeah.
That actually kind of would be big.
Law inaccurate Olaf. Searches for death. That's the whole point of Olaf, right? He's looking for death and he can't get it.
Wait, is that his deal?
Yeah, his lore is like... His culture is that he wants to die a glorious death in battle, but he went to an oracle and was like, nah, you're gonna die of old age. And he was like, no, I'm not having that. And so now he seeks out all the awful, the most...
So he's literally just...
fights.
I know he's Viking inspired, but like they weren't even subtle with it. Like the dude is just a Viking.
Full on. He's
literally
full on Viking. Yeah. Which is why
early league champs, mate.
He wants
early
to die.
league champs.
Yeah. Hey, at least he's got lore, unlike like Shaco and Oldfield Sticks.
Shaco clown.
Yeah.
Maybe we'll see. I don't even know what region he's from.
Which one?
Shaco. Where's he from?
I actually looked this up once and I've forgotten. I think he...
Is he Shadow? He can't be Shadow Isles.
No. He's from a place. He's like a prankster.
Yeah.
No, but like a city. Sorry, he's like from a city, from civilization.
Oh, okay.
But, yeah, he's... Yeah, it's not a good piece of lore at all. And
I'm sure...
no other champions reference him at all.
I'm sure one of the
May as well.
4 Shaco mains can tell us.
Shaco has quite a lot of mains. You'd be surprised. Very unique champion.
The only one I can name is Pinkwad. That is the only Shaco player I can name.
Yeah, he's probably the most famous one, to be fair.
Anyway,
But they are around. There are dozens of us.
luckily, no Shaco in this game. Or nor in any games, really. No one wants playing with him or against him.
Upgraded his boots. So I saw the icon over Bucci's, icon, saying he'd upgraded an item, but it was just...
Oh, I forgot. I forgot what they're called.
Yeah,
I'm really
I
bad
have
with
no
the new
idea.
ones.
I have no idea what the new boots are called.
It was like, do you remember the older one items? Like, all had their own names?
Yeah. Yeah.
Now they're just Masterworks.
Initialized was complaining about this as well, but we're going to get the fire here.
Yeah, Velia. He's going to put the lockdown in, and then Nemesis jumps forward. That's going to be so much Nemesis! Oh, Nemesis goes down! They do answer out with Bucci, and Crowley's on tidy up duty this time around. Los Ratones secure a triple kill onto their ADC. Bizguard is the only one left standing, and Baus is just being a menace. Going to clear out the wave, shove it in. I don't think this Oriana is going to be able to deal with all of Los Ratones making their way forwards. The death timers are too long. He's trying to clear the wave. He's trying to save the day, but he is going to get bot back onto the fountain. Baus sends him back. Oh, I've never seen one that close. It takes forever to get there. Baus just going to wall bang him back onto the fountain. Nexus will fall. Baus will fall as well, as is standard here for Los Ratones. It was a longer game, and DMG actually look like they've got some serious teeth on them. So I'm excited.